All right, now we have Liz Elizabeth Musa joining us, and we're looking at what's trending in Nigeria. Good morning, Liz. Good to have you here.
Good to be here, Olive. Good to be here, Osage. Good morning.
Morning, Liz.
All right, Liz, we're seeing news about the band. What is going on?
There's a lot going on with the Banj at the moment, as the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission on Wednesday has confirmed the detention of popular artist Oladapo Olabanji, aka the Banj, over allegations of fraud associated with the N-Power program. The spokesperson for the anti-graft agency, Azuka Ogugwa, has stated that investigation was still ongoing on this matter. According to Azuka, the N-Power was a scheme established by the regime of President Major General Muhammadu Buhari on June 8, 2016 to address youth unemployment and help increase social development. And in line with this mandate, the Commission has received numerous petitions on the diversion of N-Power funds running into billions. Now, this particular trend has led to so much going on at the moment, as this new code, at this situation, she mentioned that several invitations had gone to the band to appear before a team of investigators before now have been ignored, and the band is said to have turned himself in and was taken into custody at the ICPC headquarters on Tuesday, December 6, 2022, and is currently assisting investigators to unravel circumstances of the fraud allegations by the petitioners. Many reactions have trailed the story, and we'll take a look at them right away. That comment is from Priscilla Oluchi. Priscilla says, most Nigerian celebrities are into shady deals, but we are not ready for this conversation. And that is from Priscilla Oluchi. Lily Among Thorns says, N-Power is a fraudulent scheme. This is what they do. Greed is the reason why Nigeria has been and is still in the still waters. That one is from Lily Among Thorns. Nafisa says, these are allegations until proven guilty in a law court. May the truth prevail, and may God restore Nigeria back to what it should be. Now, that one is from the Benny Boom. The Benny Boom says, we can talk from now till next year, but the truth is, do we have the temerity to force change when our youths only seek to belong to the same group of cabals whose only strategy has been to chop our own and go purposely frustrate citizens until they give up? It's endemic. That's how people are reacting to this situation on social media. Just the fact that the band is caught in the midst of all of this. We'll take one more reactions on this story before I move on to my next story. That one is from Indubisi. Indubisi says, scapegoats. They left out the names of the government officials involved in the scheme from being identified by Nigerians. The band is now a scapegoat. So people are thinking that, perhaps he didn't do something, and that's why this particular issue is coming to the forefront, because this has been on for a while. So why is it just now that they're speaking about it? And well, that's the trend, unfortunate trend coming out of the Nigerian social media at the moment. But I'll move on to outside Africa, where Indonesia's parliament has approved legislation that would outlaw premarital sex with a punishment of up to 1 year in prison for both citizens and tourists. The new code has also prohibits cohabitation between unmarried couples, that is, no more sleeping over between boyfriends and girlfriends or any form of vacation. This new code was passed with support from all political parties and won't come into effect until after 3 years to allow for the implementation of the regulations to be properly drafted. Well, this new criminal code has sparked the conversation online and offline as Indonesians and their well-wishers across the globe. Some are calling for a review of this law, while others think it's about time. Let's see some of the reactions to this story on social media. That comment is from the Food Networking too. It says, pretty much like the law in Gulf countries, but people still do what they got to do. Just don't get pregnant. The Food Network has this to say. More comments on this story before we move on. That comment is from Alex Obioma. Alex Obioma says, I think fornication is the reason many people are not getting married. Alex Obioma has this to say. That one is from IAO Concord. It says, like having sex outside of marriage is the only sin out there for those saying they must make heaven by force. It's a silly rule that will be broken immediately. That's how IAO Concord feels about this. Omar Katuba says, Wahala, this will greatly affect their tourism industry because sex is a great part of tourism, and that's why you have sex tourism. That comment is from Omar Katuba. Well, DJ Fizi says, yes, I support you, sir. Heaven all the way. I wish the whole world can abide to this. And, this particular one definitely got so many eyeballs on social media. You can already imagine what people are saying. people are of the opinion that, you know, Bali, Indonesia is a top tourist destination, and this might also affect the amount of people that want to go to Indonesia. They're talking about the fact that Bali is like the Sodom and Gomorrah of the world. So what's going to happen now? But me, I'm just saying, you know, at the end of the day, heaven is the goal. But how will this actually work? That's what I'm thinking. Will this actually work? But the truth is, right now, it's not yet being grafted into law. So it might still take a while before this comes to play. That's if it eventually comes to play. Because how are they going to call people to order? How would this work? There's just a lot to think about right now. Olive Osalge, I want to bring you in right now. What do you make of this
conversation? My hand is not there.
I don't know anything about sex before marriage.
I don't know what you're talking about. Osalge, do you have an idea?
No idea. I'm fully in support of this. I mean, I don't even know why they should make it law. I mean, everyone should realize, everyone should, you know, abstain from sex before marriage in the first place. So this should be like normal across the world. Even in Nigeria, I think we should bring this to Nigeria also.
Okay. Osalge, can I hear your why? Why?
Why?
Yes.
Because abstinence is the best policy. That's why.
Yes. Do you want unwanted pregnancies?
Exactly.
Do you want the spreading of STIs?
That's why. Celibacy is the goal. You know, but of course, you don't need to be celibate if you've never tried it before, just like myself.
You've never tried it before?
Exactly, never. So
no, like you've never tried celibacy before. I thought.
No, I mean you don't have to be celibate if you've never tried sex in the first place. So
exactly.
You know, just abstinence is really the best way.
I'm just looking at both of you, and I'm just weak. But I just want to ask you a question. How is this going to work?
We should ask you, Liz, how does this affect you?
How is this going to work? There's just a lot to think about. How will they find
Elizabeth Musa of New Central Television, how does this story affect you?
This story
Tell us, share with the world.
This story affects people that are thinking, how will this work? Now, they're going to Bali, Indonesia for vacations and whatnot. What's going to happen? Like, is this a moral law? Like, are there no other things out there?
Now, jokes apart, in all honesty, it's a very important. I don't think that there are some countries already that you know that there's certain things that you cannot do, right? For example, countries that are religious, you know that there are certain things that you cannot do. On the one hand, yes, people who are in support of it for moral reasons and religious reasons would like that. On the other hand, it might affect the country's tourism sector because there are people who want to go there for holidays with their partners. And I mean, the fact that you're traveling with your boyfriend or your girlfriend does not necessarily mean you're involved in intercourse. You can travel with your partner and nothing will happen.
Certainly.
Well, but that's subject to debate, but it's possible for that not to happen. The same way people like you, if you sleep in the house of someone of the opposite sex, something must happen. Nothing necessarily needs to happen, but such strict laws have their advantages, but then how will it affect the country's tourism sector? I guess that's the question that lots of people are asking.
That's the big question.
I am still going to Bali. I cannot wait to go to Bali.
I mean, those of us who do not have premarital sex will travel to Bali happily and enjoy the tourism sector, enjoy, you know, the hotels and all that, you know, and the beaches. Yeah, it's easy for us.
Exactly.
But I know that it definitely will affect their tourism sector.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they will enforce it. You know,
so that's another question, Osalge. How would they enforce it? If, for example, I traveled with somebody and I wore a wedding ring and he wore a wedding ring and we pretended to be a couple.
How do you know?
There are couples that have different surnames.
Will you go to their rooms to see what's going on?
Yeah, they probably would ban same-sex lodging in hotels, I guess.
That's opposite sex lodging.
Opposite sex.
Opposite sex.
I don't even know how this is going to work because if you're already banning opposite sex lodging, that means if I travel with my friend, for example, I'm planning a girls' trip next year, and I tell my friends, oh, let's go to Bali, and we decide to split. I say, okay, since it's two of us, we share one room and we'll split the cost. Would they allow that as well?
Like you always say, there's so many layers to this story. But I want to ask you a question. Let's go to the Deban story. What do you make of this particular situation?
I want to ask you to Elizabeth Musa, what do you think about this story?
Well, I think for Deban, I think the fact that he has actually come out, he has turned himself. I feel like there's still a lot to unravel, and we will have to continue looking at this story to see what finally becomes of it.
What I think is I agree with all that you think for this story.
But like I said earlier, you know, when we spoke about this, you know, I was saying that Debanj has been, you know, I mean, the story says that he brought himself in, after being invited. But I would also say that it's not just Dibanj. If, there truly have been fraudulent activities going on in the Empower scheme, Dibanj didn't do these things himself. There are people in the Empower office, there are people in that department, there are people in that agency that were conspirators. So we want to hear about them also. We want to know their names, we want to know who they are, we want to know what offices or what positions they hold, not just Dibanj. Let's hear every other person who is connected to this case. And of course, let them all be investigated together. He's definitely the most popular one. Maybe that's why it made headlines. But he should not be the only person named and shamed in a situation like this. And there should be proper investigation. Let's see where it leads.
Well, for me, I would say yes. I agree with what both of you have said. And I'm just going to cap up this story by saying that Section 36 sub 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides for the presumption of innocence, which means that a person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. A person who has been charged or charged with a criminal offense. So, I mean, if they have a case against him, I hope that they do their investigation. If they have a case against him, then they can charge him to court and we can take the conversation from there. But until then, we're just going to keep our fingers crossed and hope that law enforcement agencies do their job. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for joining us this morning on Treadwave.
Always a pleasure.